All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, I want to keep it brief tonight, and we're just going to go ahead and go over the signal that I put on in the Telegram chat and on the site. I think I may have thrown it on the Facebook group page. I'm not sure on that. But I'm just going to go over that real quickly. Not going to be a long one tonight. So I guess I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen. Let me get to the right screen. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, everybody should be able to see my screen now. So this is EU, and like I said, I did a signal on EU earlier. I'm gonna bring it up on my phone so I have a reference point, so I'm marking everything up correctly. But pretty much what I gave you everything. I gave you your entry point, I gave you your stop loss, and I gave you a take profit. Now, how I came up with this was simply from supply and demand. Of course, there was a pattern that was in there that I saw too, which also helped to confirm it. So I'm just going to give you a quick markup of it. I'm going to do it myself, and then I'm going to take my supply and demand levels off, and I will put the template on so you can see that in comparison, because I might be a little off because I'm not going to plot out every last one that I see. So first, let's go ahead and get our supply and demand zones drawn out. So we're going to do that first. And I hope everybody can see my screen. I think that you all can. Somebody can give me a yes in the chat group. That'll be cool, just to be sure. Before I continue going forward, let me know if you can see my screen. All right. All right, thank you, Gianna. All right, so you can all see my screen. Let's go ahead and plot these supply and demand levels out. All right, so let's first go with supply. Remember how we draw the zones? If you don't worry. Tomorrow I am doing a live training that will be live on. We broadcast it live at the same time on three different avenues. On the Economy Creators Facebook business page, on the economycreators.com website, and on the Economy Creators YouTube channel. So you'll be able to share with your friends and whatnot. I think on Facebook, it'll even still be up 4 hours after the live broadcast is over. But that's when I'll go a little bit more into supply and demand. It'll be like more of a PowerPoint presentation, which will give you some notes that you can all write down too as well, because the reason why it's so important, the reason why I spend so much time and give so much of my free time and free training in supply and demand is because supply and demand is the basis that you need to have to begin trading like an institution, to begin trading like the interbank, because it's what they use. It's these zones that you want to be aware of when you're trading, because if you're not, your trade can go the opposite on you if you're not aware of what you're looking for. So let's go ahead and plot out Euro USD. And what I'll do first before I actually plot the zones out, I'm going to actually plot out the signal itself with the line so everybody can see that. So we'll know what we're working with and what I gave you on earlier today. So let's see. This is going to be the stop loss. And it is actually supposed to be at 177. Okay. And the entry point is supposed to be about there. 17850. Okay. And we need to make that green. And as you notice that when I try to give you all signals, I try to give you the best risk to reward ratio. I don't try to give you like a huge stop loss. I'm trying to get you in at the beginning of that move in that direction. Because I know not everybody is starting out with the largest of accounts, and you want to be able to, of course, see some profit, you know, but you don't want to risk the whole bank on a trade or two. So I try to make sure that when I give you a trade, that you're not risking much of your account when I do. So that way, if it does not go in, because I'm not always right, no trader is, I'm not always right. And so that if I am wrong and it hits here, you didn't lose that much money unless you over leveraged your account. So here, pretty much what you have is the trade signal that I placed for you all today in the signals group. You have your stop loss here at the 1.17750, your entry at the 1.17850, and you have your take profit at the 1.18750. So let's go ahead and just measure this out now before I plot all how I found this. So you have a stop loss of roughly 10 pips. Yep, roughly 10 pips, like 10.5 pips. You have a stop loss. So $100 in a standard account is what you're risking. And let's see. And this is what you have, roughly 90 pips for your take profit. Now, mind you, like I said, you don't always have to take profit where I have the take profit signal that. If this is more comfortable for you, because it is going to make a stop here at 70 pips, you can take profit there. It's going to make a stop here too at 50 pips. You're more than welcome to take your stop there. You can take your stop here too also at around 37 pips. That's up to you. Some people, when they see a certain amount of profit and that's their goal, 20 pips or $20 or 50 or 100, they go ahead and close out. And I'm not telling you not to do that. That's what you want to do. Go ahead and do that. But I'm giving you where I know price is going to go to and stop before it takes a good breath. It's going to take a good breath right here because of all of this right here. So let's go ahead and chart this out. Let's do our supply zone first. So like I said, if you don't remember how to draw the supply and demand zones, make sure you tune into the training tomorrow. It's live 6 p.m. Eastern. And I will be going back over all of the how to draw them. And I want to make this blue. That's supply. Let's make this red because that's demand. I'm sorry, because that's supply. And then we have another supply zone that we're going to plot out as well. Let's see. Let's draw this one. That one's actually more like that. All right. So these are pretty much your main supply and demand zones on your hour time frame chart. This is how I came up with the signal. This was pretty much all I did to see is, of course, like I said, you always go from your higher time frames and you zoom out. So of course I did that. And I already see here from the monthly, it's not going to tell me what I want to see on a trade for day trading. So you go down to your weekly. And you all will see that I will plot the whole chart out for you all going forward as you move forward with me. For example, if you go to the website, I do one a month. There is a chart markup of all USD from the monthly time frame perspective, giving you my point of view of what price is going to do on all USD over the next, say, 3 to 7 years. As far as for what it's going to do for the next 2 and then for the next 4 or 5. So you can go check that out. That's how I trade. That's how I look at the markets, is to be able to see what it's going to do for a few years. And I just take my trades based off that throughout those years. Now I'm going down to the daily. So we see this here. See what we kind of see could be a pattern. Boom, 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 boom. It will be time to reverse now, right? Because it did this. It went up, it came down, it went up, came down. That will probably be like a bat pattern maybe. I'm not going to draw it out because that's not really what we're looking at. I'm going to draw the one on the hour time frame. But you pretty much see that there is a pattern here. It goes simply up. You have this trail right here, right in the middle. Comes back up, doesn't take that out. And then sells down. Plus you see all this bearish power right here, which means that it hasn't really been much bulls in the market. The bulls is now starting to pick up steam. They really didn't have much power there or there or there. It's starting to pick up power now. So sellers starting to die down there. The last seller's push come in. Now you have your institutional traders getting ready to hop in because of all of this right here. They know this is a good area where price is getting ready to make a move from. Go down to your 4 hour. You also see all this retracement. Not all this retracement. I'm sorry. All this this big downtrend, this big bearish movement that's been going on. And we also know one thing too. It's the middle of the month. It's time for the month to reverse. We see that from the month first started, it's been selling since the month started. This is the beginning of May right here. It's been selling. Oops, I should have started it from right there, but here we go. May was where? Right about right there. Yeah. Been selling. Bought up a little bit right there, not much. Selling. Demand zone. So it has to buy now. It's the middle of the month, mid-month reversals. To even further prove it to you, you break it down a little bit more simple like this. So these are all the things that I looked at when I was looking at this trade and how it lines up. Now let's just go back in time a little bit. Yeah, that's good. Let's see. All right. Oops. Oh, where are we at now? Okay, there we go. Now, so you see the beginning of the month of April. When the month of April began, price was where? Roughly about right here. Price was here. It sold some down for about 102 pips. And it bought up for 180. So it had more buying power. So then what happened as the month progressed? The latter half of the month, pretty much the 15th, as this should be showing. I always put it at the 16th, that's close enough. But you see, it changed in the 16th it sold because it was the middle of the month. It was time for a reversal to occur. It bought up the majority of the beginning of April. It did some selling, but only for 100 pips. It almost went 200 to the upside in April, in the first 2 weeks. Then it sold. You continue in that now for the beginning of this month. Still selling. Buying up a little bit, but this buy has not done much. If anybody is familiar or heard of Elliott waves, and I'll get into that's something else that I'll teach you later, but like I said, you have to rock with me further to get all that extra stuff because too much right now just confuse people. So I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible to get you a good base, whether you rock with me or not. But you see, it bought up some, 177 pips. But it sold more already. I'm pretty sure of it. Let's see. Yep, 300 and something. So now it's getting ready to do that middle of the month reversal. Here we are at the middle of the month, 16th, 15th, right around there. And now let's draw that pattern out. Now, mind you, this is where I had to take profit at. Profit is going to go a lot higher than this. But let's go ahead and draw this out. First, what we're going to do is we're going to bring out our handy dandy Fibonacci tool. And we're going to put that right there on the screen. We see our middle point. Where does it hit? It's around the 382. So pretty much, if anybody remembers from the first training I did, that would be a bat pattern. And a bat pattern goes to where? Does anybody know? Bat pattern goes up to the 886. And this also would have been another supply zone there. I can draw it. This would have been another supply zone. Single candle, not a base, but it would have been another one. Now we can take the fib off, delete. Now, there you have it. So that's also why I said price is going to buy up, because of this harmonic pattern I see. It lines perfectly up with supply and demand. Price is coming nicely out of this demand zone. It's giving its second retest right here. This right here will be a third retest. Okay, like a final one. And actually, I might even tell you all, you might want to look for a entry at the 1.17880, which would be right about right about there. The wick of that bullish candle to the previous candle that's printing right now. You could possibly move your entry point in just about, and that's not nothing, guys. That's like 2 pips. The reason why I say that is because the demand zone has been retested right here. So it's a possibility that it may hit, you may get a tip of the wick that hits right there at the tip of that demand zone. Then again, it may not. It may come within 2 pips and not hit it. That has happened to me before on some of my signals, or not even my signals, just trades that I was going to take myself. And I have because I typically always trade off pending orders. I never really do market executions. I always do a buy limit, a buy stop, sell limit, sell stop. Like I look at, this is what I do here. And I say, okay, price is going to come back here. Or when price gets here, I'll put a pending. I'll go ahead and do this. And I'll hit like that sell limit there. So that once when price hits there, it drops for me. I don't have to do anything. It's already done. Like I said, make your phone and your laptop your ATM. It really does it automatically if you use pending orders and use your take profit. All of a sudden, you just get an alert from your phone, your take profit hit, and you didn't even know that your trade had triggered or whatnot. But nonetheless, you might want to move that that entry point up. Again, that entry point, if you do move it up, would be 1.1. Somebody put this in the chat group so everybody can see it. So the new entry point, if you want to move it in some, would be 1.17880. 1.17880. Okay. Now, also was going to help push this to the upside overnight, which I mentioned in the chat group a few minutes ago before we started tonight, was that there is going to be news actually at a weird time for USD. There's going to be news at 3 a.m. Eastern time. Let me look at my phone again. It's going to be 3 a.m. Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken, and it's going to be a speech, coincidentally enough. Let me go and take a look and get some more details. 1 second here. Let's see, 3 a.m. FOMC member Mester speaks. Let's see what the speech is about. Due to speak about monetary policy at the ECB. Okay, so it is an important speech. It's just a weird time for the U.S. to be doing that speech, but nonetheless, that is an important speech to. Or important news event, rather, to keep in mind with this trade. What that means for any speech, anytime any currency is having a speech, it typically means hawkish. It typically means hawkish movement for that currency pair. And of course, what does that mean? What does a hawk do? It flies, and it flies high. That means price should rise. With that being said, if that's what's going to happen, and price is actually going to rise for the U.S. dollar, which I doubt it's going to rise that much. But if it's going to rise, that means that this pair would have to sell. That's why I said this pair would trigger overnight. Because if U.S. is going to rise, if the dollar is going to rise, then what's going to happen is you're going to have to sell the euro in order to buy the dollar for Euro USD, which means where price is at right now, that news event can trigger price to sell down in here for your entry to get in. For anybody who wasn't able to get in here, which none of you really were, unless you traded this on your own, because I meant to make this trade last night. I'm going to make this signal last night, but like I said, I was feeling so horrible, you guys. I just could not. And I didn't double check the trade. unless I double check, triple check it, I don't want to post it for anybody, because if I'm going to be wrong in a signal, I'd rather be wrong because I did my due diligence and something just happened that I really wasn't aware of, not because I'm not feeling well and I'm rushing to just post a signal up for you guys. I never want to rush and do that for you. But anyway, so that should help to push price down for that entry point for you guys, whether you use this one or the one that I gave that I think Sam has already reposted in the chat group. Thanks, Sam, or whoever did that, or Gianna, I forget who it was. So there you go. Now, what was I going to say? So now on the opposite, if that news does not spur a bullish movement for the US dollar, and instead it spurs a bearish one, then that means good news for this pair as well. It still means Euro USD is going to rise. Either the news for the US is going to push this down to trigger the entry for you, or it's going to be the opposite of a hawkish news, and it's going to push this pair up. That's still okay. Reason why is because look at how far away price is currently from where entry is. Roughly 15 pips away. So whether news is truly in US's favor and pushes Euro USD down or not, it still has the potential to come down 15 pips for that entry. It's only 9:49 Eastern time. We still have quite a few hours before London opens. And when London opens, literally at 3 a.m., when London opens Eastern time, that's when that news drops. So you'll be able to tell by roughly probably around 1 a.m., 2 a.m., if the news is going to trigger this trade. If it has not triggered already by 2 a.m., then the news is just going to help push this up in our direction, as opposed to hoping to trigger the trade for us, because the trade would have already triggered. Now, like I said, your take profit is here. And that is, like I said, about 90 pips. If you choose to ride it up to the first supply zone, you're riding that up. And you, my friend, are going for about 145 pips. If you're riding up to this supply zone where a wick should be left to complete the pattern, then you're looking to ride this up for about 190 pips. There you have it. There's your Euro USD. Take a screenshot of this right now. I'll give you a few moments. I'm going to check the chat real quick because I've been seeing this going on. Sorry, you guys, when I'm in the midst of a training and I see the chat group growing off, I can't always I'm not always looking at it or have it up because I'm sharing my screen. I'm looking at my screen. But, okay, so, yes, I am recording. Lachelle is recording. And what type of trader am I? Okay, what type of trader am I? Are you asking me? I know you're asking me that, but what I'm trying to figure out, how are you asking me this question? Are you asking, like, am I a day trader, or am I a swing trader or scalper, or what? If you're asking in that way, I'm a mixture. The way my strategy is set up is geared to get me to a level of investment trading, where I am taking maybe 1 to 2, 3 tops trades a month, if that, maybe 1 to 2 trades every couple of months, and holding those trades open for a few months to a year. That's what I'm, where I'm really barely on the charts, but like that money is just coming over tenfold. Of course, the account size will have to be very huge by then, but how I typically trade right now for myself, I'm more of a swing trader, day trader. I'll leave a trade open for a few hours to a few days, depending, maybe even a week. I don't scalp. For me, if I'm scalping the market, I'm like going for 20 pips. I'm not like, that's kind of like even trading on this style right here. On this, I could scalp this for 20 pips and then get out and then get back in. But if I'm confident, where I'm headed, I've never scalped the market. I've never been a scalper. That's too much time at the computer for me. I don't like sitting at the charts all day long. I like to be able to do this and say, oh, price is getting ready to buy, and it's getting ready to buy from where price left right there from where I drew it. It's getting ready to buy for about 195 pips. So if I know that, I'm not about to sit and I can sit and scalp that all day, but if I know it's going to go up on 95 pips, I'm not going to sit and scalp it for 5-10 pips all the way up. I'm just going to play it for 180 pips. I may not play it for the full 195. I may play it for 180. Or I may play it and then close some profits out, because you all can do that. You can close profits out. Like if you're in profit 500, but you don't want to close the trade because it still may go up some, you can close out like 250 of it. What it will do, though, is that it will shrink your lot size that you're trading on. So it will make the current pip that you get after that decrease in pip value. But there you have it, Euro USD, your signal that I gave you all earlier. You're more than welcome to go ahead. If you didn't place your pending order earlier, go ahead and set it now if you want to take this trade. You do not have to. If what I just set up to you does not make sense to you, supply and demand, this harmonic pattern, if this does not make sense to you, do not trade it. Because if you blow your account, if you lose on this trade, I do not care, because it is not my fault. And if you need further information on that, go to my website and read my disclaimer. It is not my fault. I am in no way encouraging you to take my signals. I just create signals because people have requested them. I know people want to they want to earn while they're learning this. So I try to do my best to give you the best signal possible with the best risk to reward ratio. And thank you, Sam, earlier for putting the risk to reward ratios down for people. If anybody doesn't understand how to measure your risk to reward ratio, hit up Sam. He's good at that. Actually, I've been knowing Sam for a while. I think Sam is on here right now. I've been knowing Sam for a while. We were in another trading group together, and I'm glad that he's joined me over here in this one. And everything like that. But nonetheless, guys, that was it. I'm going to open the floor real quick right now for you guys. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and feel free to fire your way. All right, guys. So anybody got any questions? I should be back home in the church right now. I was like, damn, doing that 100 here. All right, I don't hear anybody asking. Just